I'm standing in Mark Chen's apartment right now. His coffee's still warm. His phone's on the counter, wallet beside it. But Mark? Mark hasn't been seen in 72 hours. And here's the thing that LL keep you up tonight. Both women in his life got the exact same text message at 3:47 a.m. 3 words. I'm so sorry. Then silence. One of them knows why he's gone. The other one, she might be the reason he'll never come back. This is the story of how a perfect life, or rather, two perfect lives, imploded, leaving behind a ghost and a mystery that eats away at everyone involved. To understand what happened to Mark, you have to understand the week leading up to his vanishing act. It was a masterclass in deception, a tightrope walk that was about to snap. On Monday, he's at his girlfriend Jessica's apartment, all smiles, looking at listings for apartments in Seattle. They were planning a future together. He was the perfect, doting boyfriend. But on Tuesday, his other girlfriend, Sarah, finds a receipt in his coat pocket. It's from Marseille, an expensive French restaurant she's never been to. It's a small crack in the facade, but she brushes it off. Maybe it was a business dinner. Wednesday is when the walls start to close in. Jessica's best friend, Maya, is at the mall and spots Mark. But he's not alone. He's with a woman, Sarah. They look like a couple, laughing, holding hands. Maya immediately calls Jessica, who confronts Mark. He spins a story about an old family friend, insists it's nothing. He's so convincing, so earnest, that Jessica, against her better judgment, believes him. But the real ticking bomb is at Sarah's place. On Thursday, she uses Mark's laptop and discovers a second email account he left open. It's filled with messages, love letters, future plans, inside jokes, all with a woman named Jessica. Sarah's world shatters. The man she loved, the man she was building a life with, was a complete stranger. Now, both women, armed with their own painful truths, decide to act. On Friday, Mark receives 2 separate dinner invitations. One from Sarah, one from Jessica. Both for Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Both for the same restaurant, Marseille. The scene of the crime, you could say. He accepts both, completely unaware he's walking into an ambush. Saturday night, 8 o'clock. Mark arrives at Marseille, ready for a date. He sees Jessica at a table and walks over, confused. Before he can speak, Sarah appears behind him. The air crackles. The confrontation is quiet but brutal. There are no screams, just the cold, hard weight of betrayal laid bare. At 8:23 p.m., overwhelmed and exposed, Mark simply turns around and walks out of the restaurant. That's the last time anyone ever saw him. The next morning, Sunday, the police are called. They enter his apartment, and what they find is not the scene of a disappearance, but the scene of a life abruptly paused. His phone, his wallet, his keys, even his passport, all left behind. His car is in the garage. His daily medication sits untouched in the bathroom cabinet. The coffee maker is still on, a single mug in the sink. On the TV, Netflix is paused mid-episode. There are no signs of a struggle, no packed bags, no indication that he planned to leave. It was as if he simply evaporated. Then, at 3:47 a.m. that same morning, both Sarah's and Jessica's phones buzz with a text from Mark's number. The same 3 words, "I'm so sorry." And then, nothing. The line goes dead. The man is gone, but the lies he left behind were just starting to surface. As investigators dug into Mark's life, they found the deception ran deeper than anyone could have imagined. He told Sarah his parents had died in a tragic car accident when he was 19. He told Jessica they had passed away from carbon monoxide poisoning when he was 21. Both stories were elaborate, detailed, and completely false. Mark's parents were alive and well, living a quiet life in Sacramento. They hadn't heard from their son in 3 years. This wasn't a one-time thing. The police uncovered a pattern. Mark had done this before. Back in college, he had a serious girlfriend and a tight-knit group of friends. Then one semester, he just vanished. He transferred schools, changed his number, and cut off everyone without a word. His family had been horrified, but eventually wrote it off as a strange phase, something he had grown past. He hadn't. The financial discoveries were even more chilling. Mark didn't have one bank account. He had 3, under slightly different spellings of his name. Mark Chen, Mark C. Chen, M. Chen. Credit cards with similar variations revealed a secret life of travel. There were charges from hotels and rental car agencies in cities he claimed he'd never visited. He was always alone. He was building escape routes. practicing a life of solitude long before he ever needed to use them. But the most shocking reveal came from an unexpected source: his mother. Patricia Chen, heartbroken and desperate after years of silence, had managed to track her son down using LinkedIn just a few months prior. She flew to see him. On the Wednesday before he disappeared, the same day Maya saw him at the mall, Patricia confronted Mark outside his apartment building. A neighbor later told police they witnessed the encounter, describing a furious, older woman and a man, Mark, who looked utterly terrified. Patricia told investigators that Mark begged her for time, promising to come to Sacramento for dinner that Sunday to finally explain everything. He never showed up. The pressure cooker of his life was about to explode. His two girlfriends were closing in, his estranged mother had found him, and his carefully constructed worlds were about to collide. So what happens to a person when their lies become their reality? We consulted a forensic psychologist who offered a terrifying possibility: dissociative fugue. It's a rare psychiatric disorder triggered by extreme stress or trauma. In a fugue state, a person can lose their sense of personal identity and memory, often fleeing their current life to start a new one somewhere else. They essentially become a different person with no memory of their past. A coworker of Mark's recalled him being unusually paranoid in the weeks before he vanished, mentioning he kept seeing someone from before. Was this a sign of a looming psychological break? This leaves us with 3 chilling theories about what happened to Mark Chen. Theory 1. He is a serial identity shifter. This wasn't a breakdown, it was a practiced escape. Mark is out there, right now, living under a new name, with a new life, and probably a new girlfriend who has no idea about the man he used to be. He's done it before, and he'll do it again. He is a ghost by choice. Theory 2. He suffered a complete psychological break. The confrontation at the restaurant, coupled with the pressure from his mother, was the final trigger. Mark Chen doesn't exist anymore because he doesn't remember being him. He could be anywhere: a John Doe in a homeless shelter or a man working a cash-in-hand job in a small town, with no memory of Sarah, Jessica, or the life he so desperately tried to keep separate. And Theory 3, the darkest possibility: permanent silence. Mark, trapped and unable to face the destruction he'd caused, saw only one way out. He couldn't handle the collision of his fractured identities. He walked out of that restaurant and found a place where no one could ever find him. There was no note, but that final text, "I'm so sorry," could be seen as his final goodbye. Today, the police investigation is still open, but the trail is ice cold. There are no leads, no body, no answers. The lives Mark touched are forever altered by his vanishing act. Sarah moved to Denver, trying to start over. Jessica is in therapy, trying to piece together her trust in people. And his sister, Emily, calls his phone every single Sunday, leaving a voicemail, hoping that one day he might just listen. Mark Chen orchestrated the perfect disappearance, leaving behind only shattered hearts and the haunting, unanswered question: who was he, really? Thanks for watching. If you found this story as compelling as we did, make sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the mysteries that hide just beneath the surface of everyday life. Stay safe out there.